Welcome to a new Daily Top Askreddit video. Today's topic:
what's a hack in your industry that customers aren't supposed to find out? When I worked as a pharmacy tech, I spent a lot of time calling insurance companies and waiting on hold while the world burned around me. One time I got impatient with the voice recognition bot because it kept hearing background noise and made selections impossible, so I started cursing it out. Turns out if you say the F word a few times in a short span, the bot recognizes you as an angry customer and will switch you to a representative real quick. I did this multiple times to a lot of strange looks from my coworkers until I explained the hack. Quick edit: since I'm getting a lot of the same responses, I now know that you can spam 0 or hash to get the same results. It's a feature being phased out in places. Shouting representative or operator also works. My mom did this out of complete frustration, not knowing it would work. She does it whenever she's tired of trying to navigate automated menus that don't help. You can also interrupt the automated voice by repeatedly saying representative or customer service to get out of the automated menu and in the queue to speak with someone. I make calls to insurance agencies every day as part of my job. Many of them simply will not connect you to a representative until you jump through their hoops, if at all. Some will say that is not a valid option when you representative or customer service. Some will say that they need more info before they can connect you. Some will give you 3 tries and then hang up. And some simply will never connect you to a live person. You can leave a voicemail and maybe, if they feel like it, they'll call back. Consulting: we don't know either. This is true, we pay you to have someone to blame if the project fails. Half the time they just want to pay someone to give credibility to the idea they already wanted to do. For example, how Bain Capital and McKinsey started advocating for higher CEO pay in the 90s. It gave the CEOs third-party support when they asked the board to cut them unreasonable checks. As a consultant for 15 years, we are good at bullshitting our way into you giving us the answer and then just spouting it back in different words. A friend of mine who works in consulting said 90% of his job can be summed up as, find the guy at the company who actually knows what the hell he's talking about, then send his plans to upper management. Lean into the bite. I work in pediatrics and were retaught that if a child bites you, lean into it, push whatever part of you they're biting further into their mouth, because their automatic reaction will be to open their mouth and the risk of them breaking your skin is greatly diminished. Source: I was just bitten at work, face with rolling eyes. Edit: a word and grammar. Also, how the hell is my most upvoted comment about being bitten at work? Tears of joy. That works for cats too. If you pull away, the teeth dig in, but if you push into their mouth, they get confused and let go. As a cat owner, that's incredibly useful information. Sometimes teachers do just pull grades out of their ass. I only got through high school because my teachers liked me. They can give you any grade they want within reason. It never pays to be an asshole. It never pays to be an asshole. I would be pretty happy if all kids coming out of high school learned this. So in that sense, you were ahead of many of your peers. I taught a course with a student who plagiarized some answers. He whined and moaned to the professor that it was a culture difference and he didn't know that copying answers wasn't allowed in the US education system. Despite the fact he has to complete an online module stating that every semester, which I pointed out. Ask the guy to explain to me how he would derive the answer since he claims total understanding. Cusses at me instead, calls me a bitch among other things, curses Allah, both professor and student are Muslim, professor is visibly upset, etc. Guy gets a warning from professor. Copies again but carefully rewords his answers, still getting 100s on homework assignments and Ds and Fs on quizzes, exams. I absolutely took some liberty in grading his final to ensure an F, he had a D, and have 0 regrets. If he wasn't such a tool I would have shrugged or tried to help him study prior to the exam. Kid wrote me a bunch of nasty emails after that. I tell my students that every time they're polite, respectful, and reasonable, it's like putting a quarter in their piggy bank. One day, they might make a bad decision and need to break open that piggy bank for a favor. Nothing in there, sucks to be you. Full of quarters. I'ma let it slide. You just gotta have at least one redeemable quality. Some people don't even have that. I had 2 students who were failing my Algebra 2 class. They skipped class a lot. In my district, you had to pass ALG 2 with AC to graduate. One of them told me that he hated math because it made him feel dumb. I told them that they had to come to class, but I would help them through it. They both passed with Cs. I ran into one of them this year, 10 years later. He asked me if he could hug me and told me I saved him. He has a good job and is doing really well. I see the other occasionally, too. He always thanks me for helping him graduate. I love math. But not everyone needs ALG 2. At one point I failed 6 straight quarters of math in high school. I totally hated it and had no confidence with it. I had to take remedial math when I started college, and the instructor I had totally changed everything. For once I got it, and I loved my math classes going forward from there. He really changed my life about something I previously felt completely helpless about, and it sounds like you did something similar. Hospital bills are negotiable, to a degree. Always ask for an itemized bill and put some effort into analyzing it. Most hospitals will take pennies on the dollar if you pay what you are offering right that moment. They will. Nearly all take payment plans too. If you are insured, know your insurance rules. Most do not allow balance billing, meaning what your EOB says is your responsibility is all you are obligated to pay, not a penny more. If the medical people keep billing higher, call your insurance company and tell them. They can and will often straighten it out for you. It's truly awful that this is even the way that it works. You get sick and you're also supposed to know insurance company policy or hospital billing tricks to avoid getting shafted. Any Marriott booking made partially with points, with a 3-day cancellation policy, can be cancelled the same day of the booking without any fees. As a charter pilot who books through Marriott and has frequent schedule changes, this is great stuff. Thank you. Seeing there are many Marriott users here, if you're using a free night award, make sure you're using the closest one in value to the reservation's cost. It's awful to see 85 kpts FNA wasted on bookings worth 25 kpts. Kind of unethical, but all calls to Marriott hotels go to the same call centers. If you're in a hurry for any matter, just select New Reservation, and your call will be prioritized in the queue. The guys at the call centers cannot transfer you to the front desk, you'll need to go through the menu to hear the option. Even though Expedia, Booking.com, Hotels.com etc. offer discounts, it's worth it to book directly from Marriott, as you'll have support via phone and you can get discounts for being a AAA member, a senior citizen over 62 or a government employee. Avoid the Marriott Vacation Club promotion, it's just timeshares and you'll need to attend an awful presentation. If you can brighten a call center worker's day, say yes to any promotion that involves transferring at the end of the call. He'll get a reward and you can hang up as soon as he transfers you. I've had 2 cut-rate vacations and got 200,000 Bonvoy points for patiently listening to their presentation and saying, "No, thank you, this doesn't match my needs," at the end of it. I am working on a 3rd, and I believe final go at it. You need to make sure you will absolutely say no at the end, and if you are enticed by the product, you will get a much better deal on the secondary market. Not sure if your homeowner's insurance will cover something? Apply this one simple rule. Was the damage caused by a sudden and one-time occurrence? If the answer is yes, 99% of the time you're covered. If the answer is no, 99% of the time you're not covered. This advice applies to the US. And, might I add from my own experience, don't call the claims line at the insurance company. I was calling to see if I needed to file a claim and if I was covered, and it was considered a claim. Had 2 of those, both resulting as no payout, and was dropped by my homeowners. Call your agent, not the insurance company. Yep, 2 friends who are agents for different companies. Even if it is not a claim and just a question, that shit is in your file forever. And the insurance company will 100% follow all your social media posts for years if they think you lied to them about a claim. My friend told me about a guy who wrecked his car while racing on a track, sideswiped the wall or guardrail, which isn't covered. He told the claims it happened when he fell asleep on the highway or something similar. Several years later, believe my agent said 7 years, but don't remember exactly, he posted a picture on his Facebook page of his car at the track with the damage. They immediately sued him for all the money back. About ruined him. If you're going to lie about a claim, take that shit to the grave. Just because you're on hold doesn't mean we can't hear you. I learned this the hard way when I hollered, "I cannot wait till we get your balls cut off." To my cat for peeing on something, lololol. Another fun one, if you're using a chat feature, we can see what you type even before you hit enter. I've seen some wild things typed then deleted. This is a socially anxious person's nightmare, thanks. I first saw this happening when I was touring my company's customer service department and my mind was blown. I watched some dude try to correct a common misspelling for like 20 solid seconds, having no idea that a dozen or so people were watching his attempt. Our physical presence, approach toward the user will sometimes fix the problem they are facing without any additional effort, it's support. I always tell users that I scared the computer into working by showing up. I tell them I, faith healed it. Also, it's so funny when they apologize when it's an easy fix. Dude, I fucking live for the easy fix. Home Depot brand mulch, Vigoro, is the same exact mulch as the Lowe's brand, Premium. The only difference is the quality of the bag. The material comes from the same pile. It's the same dye. There is zero difference. Buy the cheaper option. Also, on the topic, never buy mulch or topsoil sold by weight. Always buy by volume, 1 cuft, 1.5 cuft, etc. Humidity, rain, moisture in general changes things. A week or two later, when the moisture leaves, that 40-pound bag that got placed on the pallet is now 32 pounds. Just found out my town gives away mulch for free. They must clear a lot of brush or something. I took my town's free mulch, which is made from the brush clippings that residents drop off at the waste center. It was full of artillery fungus, and my siding looked like a pox outbreak. Never again.